We're going to solve for x out of rational expressions. The dealio with this is that every time you're going to have to check your solutions because you may have extraneous solutions. Remember that word?
Nope.
You should.
What's it mean?
Extra. Not true. And when you multiply both sides of the equation by an algebraic expression, extraneous solution, singular, is a solution of the derived equation, but not the original equation. So it'll work in like the equation you have halfway through your problem, but it's not going to work in the one that you originally started with. That's supposed to be an N. It's very difficult to write small on an iPad. You must check all found solutions because all the problems you have the possibility of having 0 answers or 1,000,000 answers. So you got to check them no matter what. All right, this first one. What do you think we should do? Hold on. Okay, what should we do with this?
Put it to the other side.
Kind of. I think this is a method you learned, I'm going to guess, 6th grade. Cross multiply or butterfly method. Where you go, I'm going to multiply these together or these together. On some of them, you might do it. Okay, so tell me, Clay, what would we have? 5 times what?
5 times x, or what you have distributed.
Yeah, okay, so if you distribute it, what do you get?
You have 5x squared and then negative 5.
Okay, so now the other side. Let's see, Alyssa, what would we get on the other side?
I'm not ready for this.
Freaking hurry up.
15 minus these 2x minus 2.
Okay, and then distribute it.
30x. And then 17 minus 17.
Multiply them, 15 times 2.
Oh, minus 30.
Yeah.
My bad.
All right. So at this point, you have to look at what you have. Here we have an x squared, so that means we're going to have a quadratic. So we'll have to deal with that way. If you don't have a quadratic, then you should just solve for x, like number 1 on your homework, okay? But this one, let's get it all on one side. So I'm going to move the 30x and the 30 to the other side. So that gives me 5x squared minus 30x plus 25 equals 0.
Is that our answer?
No. Your answer will be x equals something. Okay, so this is quadratic. You want to factor, quadratic formula, or graph it?
Easiest.
I don't know. It depends on who you are.
For me, what would be the easiest?
I don't know.
Why don't you know?
I don't know.
There's no easy-
Wait, if you graph it, don't you put it in the calculator?
Yep, graphing would be in the calculator.
That one.
That one?
Yes.
Okay. Huh? You could if you want to, but for graphing in the calculator, put this in y1, put this in y2, and find intersections.
Is it
Is it 1? I think that's one of them. Yeah. X equals 1 is one of them.
Y equals 0? Or do you have to have?
You don't have to have the y.
How many x's is there?
I think this will give us 2. What's the other one? Zoom 6 resets your window if you're stuck.
The other one is 5.
X equals 5. Anybody need help getting those?
Just move over and say second intersect again.
You just move closer to it and then do the whole process again.
Nice.
Well, yeah. Okay, I'm going to show you. You don't have to write it down because you can do this every time. But just for other people watching the video, I'm going to show them how you would do it if you factored it. Okay, so you can just sit back and watch. All right, so you look at what's common between these three, which is a 5. I need a new color. Let's see. Okay, so you'd have a 5, and that would leave us with x squared minus 6x plus 5 equals 0. And then we would factor the part in parentheses. 5 would be on top, negative 6 on bottom. The numbers that multiply to get 5, add to get negative 6, are negative 5 and negative 1. Yep, so you'd get 5 times x minus 5, x minus 1 equals 0. And you'd solve for x, so this one would give you the x equal to 5, and this one is x equals 1. So you get the same thing, but you don't have to press any buttons. You can also do quadratic formula every time. You remember that? No?
B something, negative B.
Should I show you that one too? Might as well, might as well. So quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So we'd have x equals negative times negative 30 plus or minus square root, I'm gonna run out of room. Negative 30 squared, big numbers here, minus 4 times a, which is 5, times c, which is 25, all over 2 times 5. What is 30 squared? Anybody help me out? No, might be 900, no. It is 900? Okay, what's 20 times 25? Negative 20 times 25.
Negative 20 times 25?
Or either one.
I did 20 times 25.
What is it?
500.
500. Okay. Over 10. Okay. So that would give us, what's square root of 400? 20? Okay, so let's see. If we use the plus, we'd get 50 over 10, which is our 5. If we use the minus, we'd get 10 over 10, which is 1. So there are your 3 methods that you can use. You can also do completing the square, but I don't think y'all like that.
That's way too hard.
I forgot that one.
I'll show you that one later. Yeah, remember, this is the graphing one. All right, but we still have to check our answer. Oh, boy. Okay?
It's pointless because I'm never wrong.
That's false. Okay, just take your answers and plug them into the original. So we'll have 5 over, I'm going to plug in 1 first. 2 times 1 minus 2 equals 15 times 1 squared minus 1. What is 2 times 1?
2.
Minus 2.
Oh.
No, 2 minus 2 is
Oh, 0.
0. Can we have 0 in a denominator? No, so that one did not work. So 1 is not an answer. All right, so try 5.
Five's definitely right.
2 times 5, we could have possibility of no answer, no solution. So let's see, what's 2 times 5 is 10, minus 2 is 8. So 5 over 8 equals 15 over what? 24. What is 15 over 24 reduced to? Divide them both by 3. 5 over 8. Hey, it worked. So there's your answer.
Look at that.
Would you look at that? So when you check, you can plug that into the calculator. Just be careful with your parentheses. Make sure you have extra parentheses around your denominators. Any questions? All right. So the next one, it's kind of using what we did yesterday. When an equation has a sum or difference, meaning it's addition or subtraction, of two rational expressions, you can use the least common denominator, or LCD, to simplify the equation. So our denominators are 2x, 5x, and 2. What is our least common denominator going to be?
2.
10. What else do we need down there? An x. Okay, because, well, that can turn into 10x, that can turn into 10x, and that can turn into 10x. You'd multiply it by 5x. But here's what we're going to do. Okay, so first step was find LCD. If you want to, just take them all and multiply them together, and it'll work. You'll just end up with things to reduce. That'll be fine. Okay, so we've decided it was 10x. Do what we did yesterday. Multiply both sides by 10x, or by the LCD. So it'll be 10x times 1 over 2x minus 2 over 5x equals 1/2 times 10x. So what should I do with this 10x right here in order to simplify, get rid of parentheses? Distribute. Very good. So you're multiplying numerator. So 10x times 1 is 10x over the denominator, 2x. Minus 10x times 2, which is 20x, over 5x, equals 1 times 10x is 10x, over 2. Now we just need to reduce. What's 10x divided by 2x? Well, the x's actually cancel, so it's just 5. And then what will happen with the next one? -4 equals 5, and the x is still there. So 1 equals 5x, so what must x equal? 1/5. You divide 5 to the other side. And then you must check it. So you can put this in the calculator and check it by just plugging 1/5 in for all the x's, or do it by hand. 1 over 2 times 1/5
Do you have to put parentheses and everything in there?
in the calculator, yeah.
How do you do that?
You'd have to put extra parentheses on your denominators. So let's just do it by hand. So let's see, right here, what happens with 5 times 1/5? Cancels out, so that's really just -2. So we need to deal with that first part. 1 divided by 2 times 1/5. Okay, the 2 times 1/5 is like 2/5. And 1 divided by that is the same thing as flipping, doing the reciprocal. So it's 5/2. Well, what? Alyssa, can you put that part in? 5/2 minus 2?
I tried the other thing, it didn't work.
Okay, try this one.
Well, can you just like make like -2 in the half, so it'd be -4/2?
Uh-huh. And 5 minus 4 is 1. So 1/2 equals 1/2. That one was correct. That is our answer.
I'm always right.
Eventually. Okay, what can I re-explain to help it sink in better?
It doesn't work in the calculator. Well, I didn't do it. The whole thing? Maybe I didn't do one.
Okay. All right, then we have one more problem on the back. All right. So we're going to use rational equations to solve our semi-real life problem. Tim can stuff envelopes 3 times as fast as his daughter, Georgia. They have to stuff 5,000 envelopes for a fundraiser. That's a lot. Working together, Tim and Georgia can complete the job in about 4 hours. How many hours would it take each of them working alone? All right, so we're trying to figure out how long it would take Tim if he was doing it by himself, how long it would take Georgia if she was doing it by herself. So this isn't in the problem, what I'm about to tell you, but it's something that you should know that's kind of cool. Okay, if like each person has a rate, right? Tim works so fast and Georgia works so fast. Well, we put them together and it has their combined rate. So you can actually set that up as a addition problem. Tim's rate plus Georgia's rate equals their combined rate. We need to figure out what information we have. Let's see. It says Tim can stuff envelopes 3 times as fast as his daughter, Georgia. So we're talking about the amount of time it takes. So we need to give one of them, make either Tim or Georgia X, and then figure out what the other one would be. Which one you want to make X? Tim. Okay. So the amount of time Tim is going to take will be X. So how long will Georgia take? 3 times X. Because Tim, however long he takes, let's say he takes 2 hours. If he's 3 times faster than Georgia, then that must mean Georgia would take 6. So 3 times whatever time Tim has. So 3X. And for the combined time, they actually told us that. What did it say?
4 hours.
4 hours. Okay.
No, I'm talking another question.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, now for their rates. What are they accomplishing?
Like, just stuffing envelopes.
How many envelopes?
5,000.
5,000. So their rate is going to be 5,000 divided by their time. So Tim's is 5,000 divided by X. George's is 5,000 divided by 3X, which, no, I don't think we can reduce that. And then their combined is 5,000 divided by 4. Hey, we can figure out that number. What's 5,000 divided by 4?
250. I don't know.
1250?
Clay is right again. 1250. So let's fill in this with what's here. So instead of Tim's rate, let's write 5,000 divided by X here. Then we'll do George's rate and then their combined rate. So if we solve this, then we will get our Tim's rate, and then we can use that to figure out, or Tim's time, because that's X. We can use that to figure out George's time. So we can do it by hand or by graphing. I'm going to show you by hand first, and then you can do it with graph. So what would be our LCD, our least common denominator? 3x is correct. So how did you figure that out?
There's 3 in X, and there's an X on the other side, so you can just multiply by 3.
Yeah. So this one, what is it missing that this one has?
3.
A 3, which would make it 3x, which makes them identical. So we need the 3x. All right, so multiply both sides by 3x. So 3x times, not 1,500, oops, 5,000 divided by x plus 5,000 divided by 3x equals 1,250 times that 3x. So the LCD is on both sides.
Do we have a word problem or how much?
I don't know. Now we can distribute on the left side. So 3x times 5,000 over x plus 3x times 5,000 over 3x equals, what's 1,250 times 3?
3750? Something like that.
Bada bing, bada bing. For 3x times, or 3 times, oh, I was asking 3 times 1,250. Yeah. Okay, yes, so Wayne was looking right here. So what cancels right here? The x's. So those are gone, and 3 times 5,000 is 15,000. What cancels on the next one? The 3 and the x. So we have plus 5,000 equals 3750x. Well, what's 15,000 plus 5,000? 20,000. All right, do some division. All right, so 5.3. So we were supposed to find out how long it took them. So who does it take 5.33 hours? So Tim is 5.33 hours. And so how long is Georgia?
Like
15 something, 16 something.
Yeah, 16.
I think it'd be like, you can multiply by 3, but 15.99 hours. So basically 16 hours.
Boom.
Boom. That would take Georgia a long time by herself. So if you were going to graph, you'd come up here and this is y1, this is y2, and you would find the intersection. That would give you Tim's time, and you'd still have to do the multiply by 3 to get Georgia's time, because it just give you x.
Why did we just do that?
Because you need to know how to do it without relying on calculator.
When you